we have something called Ghost University, and we try to teach people the way to do it. And because we always like to say, okay, there's a way to do it, but then there's the ghost way to ghostify it. Basically take everything throw it out the window, and this is how we're going to do it because there's certain standards for us.
What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, owner of Swamp Rabbit Moving. I got my co-host Ray Mack of all trades, and also with the Damian Hall Group. Today we have a special guest, Britton Briley with Ghost Marketing. How you doing, man?
What's up, dude? Good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. So, how long have you owned Ghost Marketing?
Ghost officially 2 years.
2 years?
As the LLC officially written by the state of South Carolina. Yep.
So what are you doing on the side a little bit?
No, before that was Viking Solutions. Okay. Way before that in 2018, and then I rebranded 2 years afterwards.
Nice. So, what made you rebrand?
Viking wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah?
I mean, Norwegian blood, my background, it's great, but it's too personal.
Yeah.
No one cared about it.
So what made you think of the name Ghost?
I needed to have something to resonate with clients, with what we do behind the scenes, like posts like Ghost, Secret. No one knows who we are, which is what we love. But our clients take all the limelight, and we have fun on the background.
Absolutely. So, I love it, man. I love it. So going into marketing, what, as a new business owner, where are some common mistakes made going into marketing?
I think the hardest thing is you just think like it's a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks, especially my staff, and I try to train them to do this all the time. Is like clients, yes, businesses, especially if it's like a restaurant or let's say your business, for instance, whatever it is, it's like you operate in the confines of like, okay, a restaurant's open from let's say 11 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. So the staff gets out at 5, 6 o'clock and like, okay, so they have emergency at 8 o'clock, emergency at 9 o'clock, emergency at 10 o'clock, and then no one's answering the phone, no one's answering emails. Like marketing doesn't sleep. It's always up consistently. So I think that's the biggest connotation with marketing for our side of stuff. Now for clients, honestly, I think it's just understanding the scope and layout of what marketing means. Such a broad term.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I hate the most is people like, I just want to market. There's
a million ways to market.
Different times. Like, yeah. What are traditional, digital, or when you get into digital, then it feels like this funnel keeps on going deeper and deeper and deeper until you figure out what it is.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the biggest thing is understanding. And honestly, I hate to say it's like marketing for dummies. Just so I got to break it down for the clients to understand what they're actually getting. Because if they don't understand the value of it, they're not going to want to pay it.
Sure.
So.
And you got to really watch when you're marketing too, like what works, because what works for somebody might not work for somebody else. Like SEM might work for them, but it might not work for me.
Exactly.
PPC might be good for them. So it's all about watching and all that good stuff. What's
one of the biggest obstacles you've had with scaling and then just to get to where you are in 2 years?
I think the biggest thing is just trusting people. And just delegating. I have a staff of 12 now, which is fantastic. But when I started out, it was my third bedroom. I controlled everything. I'm a control freak, and I hate to say that. And my staff that watches, like, yes, he is. Like not as in micromanaging side of stuff, but it's like I have certain expectations. And with that, when you're trying to relinquish that to a staff that might just think about punching the clock in and out, and I've cycled through some staff. Everybody's sort of cycled through staff no matter what to try to find those right people. Mm-hmm. I think the hardest thing with the scaling side of it is just truly trusting the process.
Yeah.
People constantly just want to, scale and grow fast. If I can't get this done in 6, 7 months, I'm out. I'm like, it's going to take 5, 6, 10, 15 years to sort of get where you're at, but you're building that foundation that can last for generations.
It's not just overnight success.
Exactly.
There's a lot of legwork that goes into it. I think another good question is that a lot of people get confused, and you would be the perfect person to answer. What's the difference between branding and marketing?
Branding yields no ROI.
Yeah.
It's just planting the seed to reap the harvest. It's just seeing the name consistently. Like, okay, I'm going to use an example. Jake Gilstrap, the Gilstrap Family Dealership. I'm going to say it right now. He's probably going to plug right now, and I don't get paid anything for it.
Well, we'll get him on as a sponsor.
But you've heard it. You've heard it, right?
Yeah.
You've heard it. Okay, have you bought a car from him?
No.
Why not?
It's not who I would even think of when I'm going to buy a car.
From him? You've bought a lot of fleet vehicles. You bought cars. You bought all this stuff. So I think about all the commercials that are playing on the radio every hour on the hour on B93.7, Hot 98.1. You're talking about Summit Media. You're talking about WSPA. Hear it all the time. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I know so many people. I don't know one person that's bought a car from him. I know a lot of people. You probably know a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's branding. He's just trying to get his name out there. He wants you to say, I know his name.
Absolutely.
But it's not generating an ROI. He's not seeing anything from that.
Yep.
So if I say, okay, now marketing, that's where I attach an ROI to it. If I sit there and run an ad for you and I spend X amount of money, it's okay, how many calls did you get? Okay, what's your average booking thing? Okay, great. Now I can track that to an ROI on what we did.
For sure.
Versus that branding. So branding is more of the of more of like getting your name out there, really truly doing that versus the marketing, because I have to have an ROI to have a positive impact on my business.
Absolutely.
That's pretty smart. Yeah. So with starting everything, you said you're pretty control freak. So what have you learned that's kind of hurt you versus helped you, and have you been able to step away from being a control freak and being able to build those systems and processes to give them to your employees?
Yeah, no, it has. I mean, it's been a learning curve for me. I am a human being, so the biggest thing with it is I have to learn to delegate. It comes from the core of myself, because I was so used to doing it myself. So now that I have accounts team, I have a social media team, I have our leadership team as well that comes and sort of helps run the office day-to-day stuff. I've been trying to step back more and more, and hate to say let them fail. So I could say you only learn from when you fail. And the biggest thing for me with doing that, honestly, is we have something called Ghost University, and we try to teach people the way to do it. And because we always like to say, okay, there's a way to do it, but then there's the ghost way to ghostify it. Basically take everything throw it out the window, and this is how we're going to do it because there's certain standards for us. And with that, relinquishing that to them, I want them to fail to learn. If they don't learn, and I just say, do it this way, and then I take over and I do it myself, it never teaches them to do it themselves and make them independent in what their job responsibility is.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've talked a lot about with almost everybody in here. I think once you start giving somebody and then delegating, you kind of start seeing the growth, but then you're giving that responsibility to somebody and seeing that they can start to grow. And then if not, you can see if that's a weakness and they just don't need to be on the team. That's another big point to it as well. So
it's hard when you're the face of the brand.
Absolutely.
Because that's your reputational line.
That's my biggest problem right now, I think, is trying to step away from Ray Mack. Well, where's Ray? Why is he not here? And it's like, well, I don't need to be there. Like, where this morning? I'm late because I had to be there this morning. And it's like, and if I wasn't, they always ask, or they'll call the office, complaining and bitching. Oh, he wasn't there. What's going on? It's like, I don't want to. Do I need to change my name?
Well, I was actually at a Christmas party the other day for one of our clients. Well, I didn't arrive. Oh, my team arrived first to get production, all this stuff. The first thing the owner asked, "Where's Britton?"
Yeah.
And Seth called me. He's like, he's asking for him. I'm like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way right now. You have to show face. Crap. Like I was gonna go to it anyways, but it's like I didn't arrive there when the team arrived there. They got there early to set up as per usual. It's their job responsibility. I'm coming when I can. And I was like, crap, he's asking me my name.
Yeah,
it's like he sees past all 4 employees that are sitting there right there ready to shoot. He's like, I don't see Britton.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it should be like, they should be blessed that you're coming.
What people don't understand is that you pay those people to do their job, and that's their job. Like people call all the time, like, hey, I want to talk to Chris. I'm like, I pay somebody really good money to handle that for me so I can focus on something else, but you can't tell a customer that.
Well, sometimes, and with me, sometimes you don't want to call me. I've tried to tell other clients that, like, if you call me, I'm gonna take longer to get back to you, or I'm gonna forget it. You need to call the office. That is her job. She is trained to do that properly and efficiently. For sure. So if you're waiting on me, well, it might take 2 or 3 days, and now you're bashing me on Facebook. But if you called my office, she got you, and within 24 hours, she's got your answer.
I dealt with that with one of our clients. Like, Britton just didn't answer my email. I'm like, stop talking to me.
Yeah, don't call me.
I have 120 emails in my inbox right now. That's from just over the weekend. Like, I have to clear them out. Or that's why I got a new cell phone number so people can call the office and get to them. So then if they want to reach me, you have my personal number. That's great. Sure. But if you need to reach us any other way, call the office. Talk to your account service rep. I mean, talk to the leadership team. Talk to graphics team. Like, call them the direct source versus trying to get me, then takes us more tasks to go finally get that done.
So what do you think you can do to kind of start separating that more? So just a phone number, but other things that you think you can do?
Well, we actually sent out an email just recently to all of our clients. Chris got it. I was like, okay, these are the new standards. And like, because for the longest time, for 2 years, and I don't mean this in a bad way, we let clients run all over us.
Sure.
And not Swamp Rabbit moving. That's good.
We're the angel child.
Yeah, you're the angel child. Yeah. But it's like clients would run all over us. And that's the issue. And then like we'd do extra on top of this, do this. It would call us at late night. People would hit us up every Sunday saying, I need this. And I'm like, the office, it's a Sunday. Don't get me wrong. We might do stuff from home, but it's like, you're asking for stuff right now and it's Sunday at 5:00 at night. Come on, those type of things. So we sent a big new email saying these are new standards for 2023. And if you can't get on them, we understand. No worries, no hard feelings. We're okay to wipe our hands of this, but this is what we expect going forward.
Well, I think that's pretty smart, setting your clients' expectations.
Yeah, I really appreciate that email. Honestly, I was like,
that might be something I'm doing because that's where I get texts at 7:00 on a Friday, and you're like, we're not going to respond to you. We will, but like, kind of give me a break. You know,
Exactly.
we're 9:00 on a Friday night. It's like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm trying to be with my family.
Can we backtrack to this Ghost University real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when did you implement Ghost University?
That was early this year.
Okay.
So I thought of a training. We're trying to get the process and procedures down. Like, as you know, when you scale and grow, it's like sometimes you just scale and grow. Like, okay, now I got to backtrack and go all the way down to the foundations of process procedures. Because once you like do it yourself, it's just in your head. And you're constantly doing it yourself. You're like, okay, now I got to train someone.
Now I got to show these people how to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't just say, okay, I want you to do it. And they're like, they're going to retain it. You know, they're not going to.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ghost University, we have our logo. We have a little what is it, graduation cap on it, and it's a whole 42-page document that goes through process procedures, goes through different type of marketing, goes through traditional, digital. So if a client asks like, hey, I want to start, like, let's say for instance Blake gets approached by one of our clients, like, hey, we do so much digital with them. Hey, I want to do traditional. What does it cost to do traditional? And he has no clue. It's gonna make us look stupid.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, okay, I want you to dive through direct mailers. What does a direct mailer truly mean? Okay, let's dive through billboards. What does a billboard truly mean? What's the average cost of billboard? Are you paying per billboard? Are you paying per location? Are you dealing with Lamar? Are you dealing with Fairway? You're dealing with Blimp? Like all these different technicalities. So then when you walk up and say, hey, I will find out information, I'm gonna give you a little nugget, but I'm gonna go back and research and come back to you. So those types of things.
Love it, man.
That's really what Ghost University is all about, is teaching them is process procedures.
Have you seen any benefit to having the Ghost University?
Oh, absolutely.
A lot smoother now, a lot easier to train.
Yeah, well, Blake, one of my new guys, he has no marketing experience whatsoever. He came in fresh. He worked at UPS, dude. He just drove a UPS. He's like, I just love what you guys do. His wife works for Swamp Rabbit Hockey.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I just seen you guys around the tunnel. I seen you guys around. I want to do what you guys are doing. I'm thinking, do you have any marketing experience? Nope. No worries. This is going to be your Bible for the next 14 to 30 days. I want you to study it in and out.
Yeah.
So that's how I did it.
And it worked out?
It did.
Nice. That's awesome. We actually prefer people that have no moving experience because a lot of times, especially like seasoned people that have been moving forever, I don't know why they would do it, but the people that do it, they can't take direction and they can't
teaching a dog old dog new tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we prefer nobody with no experience.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier.
It's a blank canvas. You can teach them how to paint. You can teach them how to do it your way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the only way they know.
Yep.
That is a good way to start developing people from the ground up. That way you don't have to worry about trying to fix their issues, because that's usually the case, is why they're looking for a job in the first place, because it didn't work out somewhere else. You know, whether they have a skill or not, then you got that skill, but you don't have that that work balance relationship.
I mean, it's a pro con, honestly. I think experienced people bring a lot of knowledge, and that you don't have to really train them from the ground up, especially a blank canvas. You have to really spend a lot of time with them.
Sure.
And then if they don't work out, you got to cut them fast. That learning curve has to adapt at some point. Where experienced person, they already have basically all that. You're sort of trying to tweak it, but there's pros and cons to both of it.
Absolutely. I think it's position based as well. Like, you're not going to go hire a CEO that doesn't have any CEO experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like for mover, driver, stuff like that, it's pretty easy to
train them, get them off the ground.
Turn on the ignition. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but you have to do that.
Put the truck in drive.
Exactly. Look at your mirrors, 10 and 2.
But that's the sad thing, is you have to do that with some people. And I think that's what we're learning about the system and processes, and being able to say, okay, like, how do you use the bathroom? Well, when you're done using the bathroom, make sure you flush. Make sure you turn the light off.
Flush.
And if you don't do that, like, people
close down the lid if you're married.
Don't clog a customer's toilet.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, we had that happen in like a sale. It was like a $1.8 million house. They're coming for an open house, and somebody used the bathroom and it didn't work. And we're like, bro, like, and he just left it there. It's like, come back and at least clean it up, man. Like,
just like walk away, the walk of shame. But
it's like the main bathroom to the house too. It's not like a hidden bathroom somewhere. It's like main walk in the house, and all you see is this guy's crap in the toilet. It's like,
I got a pretty funny story. When I was working at another moving company before I started Swamp Rabbit, there was this kid, and he went to use the bathroom, and when he went to use the bathroom, he realized there was no toilet paper. After it was too late.
Did he use his shirt or something?
He used his hand.
Oh man!
Guess what else there was none of?
water.
Soap.
Oh,
his last name was LaRue, so the remainder of his time at the place I worked at was LaPoo.
Oh, jeez. That's funny. That's funny.
I mean, that's the serious thing, though. Is like, if you don't train them those little things, they'll make it as an excuse too, though, because then they have the right to come up with the excuse.
Absolutely.
Well, you didn't tell me I couldn't take a poop in the bathroom. You're like,
not everybody has common sense.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what? 2 years in business, and God, only 2 years.
Yeah, wow. I mean, pretty good
explosive growth.
Yeah. Well, it was kickstarted by Viking. I'm not going to lie. We had a lot of that foundation from Viking. And
a lot of your clients rolled over from Viking to Ghost?
Yep.
Did any drop off? Or
a couple, but they're also because our prices changed. Our value changed. Our proposition changed. And with us growing and scaling that way, and not saying the bottom of the barrel whatsoever, it's more like
what they could afford.
Exactly.
Budget wise. It just wasn't in their budget anymore.
Getting a brick and mortar, getting employees, getting gear, expanding our value.
Yeah.
That was the thing where, okay, this is what's going to cost now. Well, I've always been this. Well, I have payroll to make. We have taxes due. We have, there's so much different costs involved that we're like, this is our new price structure. This is our standard. This is our base.
We have to make money.
Exactly. Yeah. We're all for-profit businesses. I'm not here just to have fun and passion. Yeah. We want to make business. We want to have better schedules, make it ourselves.
Do you break that down to your clients? Like, hey, look, we've just got this overhead now. We can't really offer these
and
pricing.
They understand it. Yeah. They all understand it.
A lot of people don't realize. They're like, well, why is this guy so much cheaper? Well, it's because he moves the furniture himself. He answers the phone himself.
Yeah.
He only has one truck. Like when you start talking, like you got 4 sales reps, 2 operations managers for my case, 40 movers. And like what I pay those movers, I'm probably paying 18% in taxes on them as well. Like there's just so many insurance, workers' comp. I mean,
we do.
A lot of people don't really realize the back. Like, yes, I make good money, but I also probably should make a little bit more money.
What you also, I've always had that feeling of like being honest with them.
Yeah.
But also I can't. Because the biggest thing with this is if I'm just going to open up my books and show them stuff like, oh, well, then it creates a whirlwind.
Yeah.
But I want to say like, this is what it costs me to run business. Yeah, but they'll never understand it once you say it that way. Especially like, photographers, videographers, graphic designers, web designs, UX guys, it's expensive. These guys' salaries are not like, oh, hey, it's $7.25 an hour. No, these guys are getting $34 an hour. Yeah. So they're like, why don't you pay them less? Go find someone that can do our quality of work for less.
Sure.
Go watch a Swamp Rabbit
you get what you pay
hockey intro video and say, you know how much that costs.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you having issues? Did you lose a lot of clients when you did that, or
no? For us, it was more like, hey, so what I do in my strategy here, and I'll open it up for that, is we don't go for the top dog. I don't go for the lower dog. We go for the middle guy because we want you to be here. We want you to be at the top. I want you to be like them. But I don't want to fish for the person that has no budget.
Sure.
So for us, when we move people out, we move a person right in afterwards. Like we had that issue just recently with a plumber that one plumber left us. We already had a plumber in the backup just to go right for, and they're paying about the same.
Do you stick with one trade, like one person per trade, or do you kind of like commingle?
Oh, well, some of them can buy exclusivity. Like Chris has exclusivity for South Carolina for Swamp Rabbit Moving. I gave that to him a courtesy as respect because that is how we work. I remember the first time that guy, I don't remember his name. I remember I was working for Chris, and this guy hit me up. I was like, man, I'm starting my own moving company. I used to work for Swamp. I said, yo, you do not want to call me. I said, you have 20 minutes to call Chris and let him know that you reached out to me, that you're starting your own thing. Because I'm not going to sit there and say, nope. I'm just not going to let this guy go into the weeds, because I think about Chris's process procedures on everything he's built. Same thing here. If someone worked for me and like, I'm going to go start my own marketing company. Okay, you signed an NDA, a non-compete, a non-confidentiality. Sure. Like, you're not taking it, just running with it and do all that blood, sweat, and tears. So I remember that, and I was like, yo, Chris, this guy's hitting me up.
I remember that.
He says he works for you. Yeah. And I was like, he's like, I'm like, I'll let you go. Just hung up the phone.
I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yeah. But some of our clients, like great example, are our New City Move-In in Chicago that Chris recommended us to. He bought the whole state of Illinois. So like some of them, we give them that option, but like I represent Grill Marks and Hit Burger. They're 2 burger joints, but they're different burgers, but they're still burger joint in town. But they're okay with that. They're like, hey, it's fine. Either of them don't want to buy exclusivity, so it can work for both of them.
For sure.
So that type of thing.
That's smart. What's like one success story? Like, did one company kind of bring you to that next level after you landed their business?
I think honestly it was Hit Burger. I would say that. Hit Burger, we started out with him with Viking. And we just did his food truck. We marketed the hell out of his food truck. His food truck was everywhere. Went to breweries, went to HOAs, went to neighborhoods. I mean, we literally hoard out that food truck. Now, he made money, which is great, but it's the branding effect. Then we did a sticker campaign and like all this stuff. And then finally, his food truck grew so much that he had to get his brick and mortar. And he's looking at a second location now. And that's sort of our like case study and like more of like the biggest success story we can have, because we took it from just one little tiny food truck, and now he's, I think a $2.2 million location in Malden, which Malden's just a sort of a pasture city.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's probably our biggest case study we have, from the ground up, from branding to logo design to concepts, just all that stuff. So
Nice. So you started with him from the beginning, like you did
Very
all his
big.
logo, branding,
Very
all
big.
that.
Yeah,
That's
very
awesome.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
So
It's probably very rewarding to see too. It's like
it is. I mean, he had a consultant that came in and helped
Yeah.
with logo and everything as well. But it's like that branding that came to it. I don't know if you've had any of his stickers or anything like that. We make pop culture stickers.
Yeah.
We have fun. Like even like this is sort of like a old school 80s, 90s type of
Yeah.
thing that we make and just have fun with.
it's like those windbreakers.
So, exactly.
I just noticed that. I like
Exactly.
that shirt.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I guess let's touch on, what is your least favorite part about marketing, or what's your least favorite specific job within marketing?
The job or just marketing itself? Because those two different. It's two different answers.
The
too.
job. Let's go with the job. Like, what's your least favorite to do marketing wise?
I think honestly, it's really just all the data crunching.
Yeah.
It's just so I was just telling you, I was up all night until 6 o'clock, and then went home, slept for an hour, and then got here.
That's that 2 years in business drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost that a long time ago.
But it's also that thing of like, I knew it had to get done.
Yeah.
It's near the end of the year, so we have to plan for 2023. And it's just getting all this data, getting all this information, taking it, digesting it. Then I have to put it through the filter of the brand. Like, think about Meme Mondays, we think about Quick Tip Tuesdays for you guys. It's like, I have to then take all this data, say, okay, what's happening in the market, and how do I take and put that tone, voice, and spin on it for the client, and then not make two ideas the same. Like everything I do for Swamp Route Moving, I'm not going to do for New City Moving in Chicago.
Yeah,
they both know each other. They're both going to see, and like, he's just copy and pasting. Why am I paying for this? It's like it's going to make us look like schmucks at the end of the day.
Well, that is kind of tough.
So-
You got to like be a voice for every single company, and a different
Exactly.
voice, so that you're not just like, it's not copy and paste.
I have
It's
to
not
put myself.
generic stuff.
I have to put myself in Chris' shoes. Does this put the best brand? We basically go through five W's: who, what, when, where, why. Every time we do something, we go through those 5 W's. So if I'm creating a branding campaign, who, what, when, where, why. If I'm creating if we're doing Quick Tip Tuesdays, okay, who, what, when, where, why. I mean, we constantly have to go through those every time we do something. It's ingrained into our staff.
Yeah. And marketing is ever changing. Like, it's all like, especially on the
Constant.
Google aspect, like I know their algorithms change all the time. So you have to like stay up to date with all
Yeah, they
that.
just changed all
I get
my business
newsletters.
stuff.
I get updates all the time. Like literally, I feel like it's push notifications, not on my phone, but on every update about any algorithm change.
So Google does notify you when they do the algorithm change. Do they tell you how to?
They don't tell you how. They just tell you things that are coming and
rank
best
better?
practices.
Okay.
Yeah. Just sort of like Facebook and Meta now, or I should even say I should say Meta overall between Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Back in the day, it used to be just how many hashtags you used.
Yeah.
Now it's all about comments.
what days you do it, and
Exactly. And then now it's all reels. Like you don't really want to do photos anymore. Photos are great, but you want to do reels. But then that takes so much more time, energy, and effort. Think about it. We have 3 cameras right here. It's like, okay, taking all that, cropping it down, and then you have to get it done, but then you have to do that for 18 productions every week consistently across the board for us, and trying to have those timetables get them done by.
Absolutely. That makes
Just like it's corn. It's gone now. It was great for a week and a half. You have to jump on that trend, and then the next trend hits.
exactly.
well, what do you think? What do you see? Where do you see most businesses going in the marketing, as far as like what's the future of marketing?
I think it's a 50-50 split. A lot of people used to go away from traditional, and they went straight to digital because their budgets were tight. But now digital's so oversaturated, and I hate to say that because I'm in the digital space, that people are starting to lean a little bit more into traditional because
Like mailers and
mailers. Yeah, exactly.
Radio ads.
Yeah, radio ads are great. It's just, we have to hear them 8, 9, 15 times before it sinks in. But everything between marketing getting so oversaturated. So how do you cut through the noise? That's the hardest thing. That's what we have to think about. It's like those 5 W's. Okay, if I'm going to target a female, okay, what's this female's demographic? What's their lookalike audience? What is their buying persona? Okay, where do they consume data? Do they consume it on Spotify, Pandora? Do I do radio ads like digital radio ads?
Yeah.
Do I do social media and Instagram? I get an influencer, or do I hire a family like Lindsay Molinax and I put her as the poster child of it, and it's her, Brad, and her 2 kids, and use a commercial to tie, that could be me. I could be that mom. Like, it's just how you consume that.
Because everybody buys from an emotional state.
Absolutely.
I think almost all buying decisions are emotional.
You know much Star Wars crap I bought because I like Star Wars? It has nothing to do with, it's just like, oh, that's Stormtrooper, buy. My wife's like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, why? I'm like, I grew up on Star Wars. It's emotional.
Yeah.
If you can tie somebody's emotion into a purchase, it's pretty easy. So.
Exactly. Yep.
What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that like marketing companies are making right now, as far as like for their brands?
I think it's being cookie cutter. I mean, Chris talk about this. Every brand's different. Yeah. And a lot of times, like for us, we're a la carte. So clients pick and choose the one and we build a plan. Like everything's different. But a lot of them are just like, okay, this is our minimum. Great. I understand you have to have a minimum to make business. But it's like, okay, level 1, 2, or 3, that's it. I'm like, there's no wiggle in between there. There's no taking this out, putting that in. And a lot of them just, they go with someone like, we're dealing with someone right now that transitioning from another marketing agency, and she's like, they don't have my passwords, they don't have this, they don't have that, and then on top of that, it's all graphics and it looks like it was made on Canva, like all of it does. And Canva's great, Adobe Illustrator's great. There's different pros and cons to every type of graphic design, some easy layering type of stuff, but it's like, it looks like my 13-year-old daughter did it.
Well, that's what I think Canva's made for, is for like consumer use.
Exactly. It's fast, easy for the ones that do it themselves. A one-man band, I need to do something fast, but like this company is huge. And she is just so frustrated with it. That's like, they just put me on a list. I'm just a number. I'm like, you're never a number to us. You have my personal cell phone number. You can hit me up and call me anytime you want to, or you have my staff's numbers. Like, I feel like the biggest issue that people make in marketing, they just go with what's available to them and they don't actually push back. They say, I guess that's the way it is. I'm going to pay this money. Yeah. So like we were talking about, search engine marketing. We're like, okay, hey, SEM is great. It's very deep pocket. I'd rather you do LSAs. You pay one flat fee, you get ranked, you Google guaranteed, you're set. Instead of spending, $20, $30 per day per word, and you're $1,500 per word per month. You're like, I have 20 words, 1,500 times 20. There we go. Yeah, exactly. So those type of things.
I had that with a marketing company I hired, and like when they started, he made some great logos. I was giving him the run of the mill, and then all of a sudden, like, he starts putting out these generic like construction posts, and I'm like, man, we don't even do that, He's like, oh yeah, okay, and then he changes it to like, oh here. I'm like, dude, like, are you even looking at what you're doing, or are you just rolling out? Like, he had like pre-planned publications that they would just come out when they were ready, and it was just like the most generic, like he copy and pasted an article off of like construction.com, and I'm like, dude,
that's why we're so ingrained into Ghost Productions. That's our other entity. We have to have authentic content to go with what they're seeing, because I can go to Shutterstock, but okay, moving companies, you just see like someone out of nowhere, and it just
guy in overalls.
It's still got the
then they go to Canva and put the logo on the box, and you just overlaid. It's not even right. I'm like, what the heck is this? And you just look at it, I'm like, this is not what you pay a marketing company for. We're supposed to be creative, yes, but we're executioners. We need to go in and execute the plan. It's great. Like, I was talking to someone there, I said, I love a flying car. I have no clue how to make it, so why do I even bring it up in a meeting? Like, absolutely. Those type of things. Like, it's great to think of it, but it has no value to the meeting or anything if you cannot execute what you're talking about.
Absolutely.